reference to a great play, but for Georgie, that's what we want to hear. And he's playing great. So this is terrific for this team. And Coach Underwood can rest a little bit easier, keeping Kofi on the bench the rest of this half. And so here's Georgie. He's switching out in the pick and roll. That's something that he does better than Kofi. Where Kofi, they're really going to keep him in the paint on a pick and roll. And Georgie did a great job there, switching out, defending it, making him take a tough three over his outstretched arm. That's really good there. That doesn't show up in the box score, but that's a big play.
I feel like Georgie just got better feet on the perimeter, a better feel when he gets out, outside the paint than Kofi in that sense. And you saw it right there on Mitchell. Hey, they've got the lead, and they're going to likely have it here at the under 4 timeout. This is a great position for Illinois to be in, and a confident stroke there for Miller. I don't know about that long three, but
yeah, it was kind of a rough possession. We didn't move the ball. Adam Miller, a lot of dribbling out top, and didn't get any ball reversals. Didn't get the ball in the paint. That's not what you want, especially after Georgie just made a great move. I'm a guy. If something's working, let's go back to it. Let's isolate Georgie back in the post. That's what I would like to do and see what's working. Okay, let's keep going. Let's milk this until they can stop it.
All right, we're going to hit the under 4 here. Any thoughts about bringing Kofi back in, or you?
We're not bringing him back in. Don't. That's not going to happen this half, Brett. With how well Georgie's playing, with the game under control, we got a slight lead here. So Kofi will be fresh and ready to go the second half.
What else are you seeing here that you like?
Well, I think we're battling. It hasn't been – we haven't really gotten a flow. Io has not gotten going. But I do like the young players, and I've said this a few times, just how assertive they've been, how confident they've been. Andre Curbelo leaves a game with 0 points and 2 fouls, but I thought I loved his aggressiveness. I loved how he got in the lane, and I think he has 2 assists. Had a couple other passes that shots didn't go down. So I really like to see that. Adam Miller still letting it fly. DeMonte's battling. So and Trent Frazier got off to a good start. He looks like he's ready to go and a bit more trigger happy, which I think can be a good thing for Trent. Trent, man, you got to let it fly.
Yeah. Things that we wouldn't have said at the start of the game is that Jared Butler has as many points as Georgie Bashanishvili at the under 4 timeout in the first half. You love to see this from Georgie. 4 of 6 from the field, 3 rebounds, and an assist in there with only 1 foul. And he's risen to the occasion when Kofi's out of the game with foul trouble. And I think that's one of the biggest questions that everyone had coming into the season, Trent, was, is Brad going to play in the rotations Georgie and Kofi together? Is he going to mix them at the 4 and 5? Is he going to rotate them at the 5? And he told me before the season he was going to do both in our interview for our tip-off show. But look, if Georgie can play this well at the 5, and I think this is what we were all longing for last year out of Georgie, is to be confident. Go out there, and if they can do this and he can play this well, I mean, Illinois is going to have a heck of a run here this year with a backup 5 like Georgie.
Yeah, I really like Georgie at the 5. I mean, he was very effective there his freshman year, playing the center position. I think last year we expected him to maybe you see some of his skill and some of his footwork and thought that would translate a bit more easily to the 4 position. And it was a tough fit for Georgie. It was tough to, and here's the deal too is Kofi's not spreading the floor. You want him in the paint, okay? If Georgie can't spread the floor, if DeMonte's struggling shooting the ball, Io didn't shoot the ball too well. Now you have too many players on the court that can't spread the floor. And now that limits the effectiveness of Kofi Coburn, of Io DeSumo slashing. And I think Georgie's just much more comfortable with his back to the basket. He had a hard time just kind of finding his place, literally not just on the roster, on the team, but finding his place on the floor. Where do I space to? Where do I need to get to? Where are my spots as a power forward? He never really figured that out. So I like him playing the 5. I think we'll see him play a little bit at the 4, going big in a big lineup. But for the most part, I see him backing up Kofi at the 5.
I like seeing Io aggressive there. Looks like he turned it over, or they called a foul on him.
Called a foul on Georgie on the ball screen, I think. And I'm not sure if that was Io's fault in going too soon before Georgie could have gotten set, or if Georgie was just a little bit too eager to crack somebody there on a ball screen.
And that's where if Georgie picks up another foul here, he's going to be in foul trouble, and you start to worry about what you're going to do from that.
I think Coach Underwood would keep him in.
Yeah.
The fouls aren't quite as precious for Georgie as they are for Georgie as they are for Kofi.
8 fouls now for Illinois, 5 for Baylor. Turnover there from Trent. I don't know what he was doing on that.
Baylor's they're very aggressive defensively. Those guards have quick hands, so that's they're really tough there.
Well, we got this injury, Trent. Give us a sense of what you're doing. You're back in Champaign now. I know you got some camps. Are those coming up?
Well, unfortunately, they're not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back in Champaign. I'm switched up gears. I'm in the financial world with Cozad Asset Management and kind of in business development, and that's been a fun new challenge and learning, and with a great group of people. But I really enjoy staying involved with basketball. It's been such a gift to me, and I think there's so much. It's fun for me to use the game in a way of where my whole life I went to the gym to better myself, and now it's I go there and run some camps and do a little bit of training, and it's to help a young person. So I've done some of that, which I really enjoy. I'm trying to put together a virtual and online program because everything's shut down, man. So
right.
I'm in the works of putting together an online kind of a curriculum, mixing in some character development with basketball skills, hopefully to have released here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.
We'll look forward to that. Did you
work on your game, Brett? Okay, I'll have some drills for you.
Yeah, hey, there's a reason I didn't play basketball. The reason I played football and baseball only, and golf now. That's about all I do anymore. Did you think about going pro again for what would have been a 10th season?
Well, I retired twice and went back twice. So
I
was very close to this. Would have been, I guess, it'd been almost a year and a half. It's a great find by Io.
Yeah, and a strong finish from Georgie. A lot of times I just see him laying the ball up. I want him to be aggressive to the hoop and dunk it.
Yeah, he got up there really quick. He didn't hesitate. He didn't pump fake. He just went straight up. And Io's really improved. I mean, he just continues to improve as a decision maker, reading ball screens. He's ever evolving that part of his game. And what we do a lot here is, and they're kind of forcing him left a bit, but we really try to get him going to his right. He's improved going to his left, but Io is deadly getting to his right hand. So you'll see most of the ball screens, and I like that move there. Most of the ball screens that we'll set have him setting up, getting to his right hand, where he's just as effective as anybody in the country.
Yeah, I think that's the big knock on Io at this point, is that if you force him to his left, he's not going to be as successful. All of his last-second shots that I can think of at least have been to his right, maybe other than that Penn State game last year where he initially had to go to the left. And if you got Georgie Bashanichvili hitting three,
how about that, man?
Yeah, you're living right if he's hitting threes. I'll tell you that much.
He's got it going there. It was a bit early in the shot clock, but, he's playing well. He's seen the ball go in a few times. So if I'm Coach Underwood, I don't mind seeing him take that here. He's stepping into it. He's got no resistance. He's a guy, if he's in there in the open gym by himself, he's going to hit that 6 or 7, 10 out of 10 times. But it's a bit different when you're in the flow of a game. But that shot, time, score, context, I like that.
So now the question, Trent, is what do you do in the second half to start if Georgie's playing this well?
You start Kofi.
Okay.
I think you start Kofi. You go with your big dog, but you're probably looking to get Georgie in there right away. Now they
go really small here. Trent Coleman Hawkins is going to play the 5 here with DeMonte at the 4, and they're going to play the final 117 here and try and give Georgie a breather. He's been in since the 11-minute mark. That's when Kofi got that second foul.
Yeah, and with the energy he plays at, you can bet. He'd be gassed a bit, and I don't know if Coach Underwood's too thinking he just hit that 3. What's Georgie going to do next? Let's let's maybe calm him down just a bit,
Right.
And we'll see if he gets back in there here before the half or not. Baylor doesn't have a great post threat, so I think you're not as concerned about having Coleman Hawkins in there. Rebounding would be the big thing as opposed to, a post up. But
seemed like a little bit of a forced shot there from Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, he's forced it a little bit.
Big block. Okay, Brad's going to use his timeout here. I don't think he'd used one yet. Coleman hustling up and down the court after that early 3 attempt that he had that he missed. He's back in, and
I tell you what, he is long. I really like. He's got the look of a great player, and his shot is smooth as anybody on the team. I think he's got a better just awareness and feel for passing and decision making than I expected from a young kid. He's also he's slight of frame, but he's not a bean. He's not Brandon Lieb. He's got a little bit more to him there in terms of his strength, I think. So I'm excited to see his progression. But there's a lot of talented players. There's a lot of guys that look the part, and so I think for him it'll be confidence, it'll be gaining strength, it'll be just continuing to work at it, find his place. But I think he's got all the tools to be a very, very good player.
So Trent, you said you almost retired, or you did retire a couple times.
I retired twice and went back and almost did another time after being away for a year. For some reason there was a few teams that actually wanted a old slow white guy to still play a bit. So I tell you what, when you can play, when you still can do it at a pretty high level, it's tough to say no thanks.
Right.
But for my family, 3 young kids, and it just made the most sense to be here and kind of pursue some new challenges. And
a lot of dribbling there from Trent. He's not had a great first half here.
Yeah, he got going early, but we've had a number of turnovers there where I think Baylor's aggressiveness and their quick hands on defense have caught us by surprise a little bit.
Expect Io to keep the ball. Oh, DeMonte. That's not what you want there in the half. I would have loved to have seen Io just keep the ball there and make something happen.
Yeah, they've done a pretty darn good job of bottling Io up. So I'm interested to see kind of how he adjusts coming to the second half. He was not able to get out in transition. I don't know how many transition points we have, but we haven't gotten much going there. Both teams, it's been a bit sloppy. There hasn't been too much of a flow to the game, but both teams are playing hard. This is kind of what you expect this early in the season. We open up with 17 threes against the JV team, and you just don't expect to be stepping into shots that easy the whole season. So now here we are with a really quality opponent, and you'd expect the energy on defense to probably be ahead of where you would be in terms of offensively in midseason form. And this Baylor team, I heard Jay Billis saying in the previous game, the Gonzaga West Virginia game, he was raving about how good of defense these guards are for Baylor, and they're showing that tonight.
You mentioned it, Io DeSumo getting bottled up, 1 for 6, 4 rebounds, just 3 points from him with an assist and a foul. Really tough first half for him. I want to see how he adjusts. I agree with that. But the story is Georgie Bashonishvili going 6 for 8 for 13 points is what I got him at here. And Kofi with 2 fouls, just 2 points, and one of his 2 shots went in. So we'll see what Illinois can do here in the second half. Trent, it's been fun, man. I appreciate you jumping on here, having a little conversation about the biggest matchup for Illinois in really 15 years since the national title game. So it's been fun to chat about it, and we look forward to having you on more, whether on our digital channels here or on air. Great to see you on TV on Saturday.
Hey, Brett, we got a color team right here, me and you, buddy.
Hey, I love it. It's great.
All right, let's do it again. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, thanks, Trent.
Enjoy the second half.
Yeah, and everybody enjoy the second half.